That is another scathing piece from the Lincoln Project. It's a group of big-name Republican strategists and campaign veterans who are doing everything they can to try to make Donald Trump a one-term president. Now, before we get to my next guest, who's a founder at the Lincoln Project, I wanted to show you another one of their spots, one that we thought was particularly both moving and effective. It shows more than 175,000 tombstones, each one representing a COVID death, and they call it Trump's Wall, pointing out that Trump actually is building his wall, but it's really made out of graves. And that's not it. When it comes to the Republican rebellion, not even close. More than 150 former staffers from the past three Republican nominees, George W. Bush, John McCain, and Mitt Romney, they're picking Joe Biden over Donald Trump. All the groups I just mentioned, they're from outside the Trump administration, but a group of former insiders are also banding together to support Biden. Then there are the 70 national security experts from GOP administrations who've banded together announcing their support for Biden, penning a letter saying Trump has damaged America's role as a world leader, cozied up to dictators, dishonored the presidency, solicited foreign influence in elections, and more. Former Homeland Security official Miles Taylor, he's heading up that effort.
There are people serving very close to the president that have told me verbatim, we should expect, quote, shock and awe if the president wins a second term. You will see a flurry of executive orders. You will see the president pull out of foreign alliances. You will see the president align with dictators around the world.
I want to bring in our guest, as I said, Rick Wilson, founder of the Lincoln Project. And he's also author of Running Against the Devil, a plot to save America from Trump and Democrats from themselves. As they say, Rick, tell us how you really feel. Did Biden take a step in the right direction today? For me, at least, I thought it was his best address, trying to make it clear that he is not for lawlessness, clearing up some other things. Is that what he needs to do?
Well, he does, because there has been a week, basically, of propaganda from the RNC and from Trump saying Joe Biden favors looting and rioting and da-da-da-da. Well, of course, it's untrue. Of course, it's dishonest. But it's also the kind of thing you've got to come to expect in this modern era of campaigning from Donald Trump. They're going to have a campaign of lies and mendacity and all these things. So Biden does have to punch back out there. And he did today, I think, effectively push it back onto Donald Trump. That Trump is the one who is the divisive character. Trump is the one who is the person causing some of this unrest and building this chaotic situation in our country.
And also, I think he made the point to say, listen, there's a president right now. He's running against my record. You know, what about this guy? You know, so to that end, Rick, we mentioned all the different groups of Republicans from former administrations or people like yourself who've been involved in numerous campaigns. But do you think we're going to see more than just Miles Taylor? Do you think any of the bold-faced names that were at the beginning of the Trump administration in big positions, do you think between now and the election they'll actually go that one step further and say they're not going to support this man again? In fact, they'll even support his opponent.
I think I would encourage those people, and I've talked to some of them, and I know a lot of them. I would encourage them to think about this like World War II. If you were in France the night before the Americans invaded and you went out and you cut down a telegraph line or you blew up a bridge, you were part of the resistance. You were part of the effort against. A lot of other people were collaborators, and silence is collaboration when it comes to Trump. There is a moment here that these people have to be honest, to be forthright, to honor the service they swore an oath to in this country, and to stand up and say what they know. And if you just hide it or do it off the record, it doesn't suffice, in my view, to clear your name from being involved with a guy who has been this destructive to our country.
We know there's been several books that have come out, and there's more that are coming out, Bob Woodward's being one of them. Is there anything that could come out between now and the election that could actually change someone's opinion of Donald Trump, or at this point it's just all baked in?
I think a lot of it is baked in, but there's always the question of revelations with this guy that you kind of sort of know to be true, and then they turn out they are true. I mean, look, Donald Trump is a corrupt individual, and that corruption has never been fully and truthfully covered in a way that exposes a lot of the things that underpin his supposed wealth and his financial, reputation. He has always been a person of unstable personal character. And some of those things that you sort of know, it never hurts to have those things actually out there in black and white on paper.
You know, maybe it's a little inside baseball, but Rick, I'm surprised how many of the Obama folks, I'm talking about the people who ran both his campaigns, how they're invisible, at least with the inside of the Biden campaign. A, how do you think Biden will use Obama? And moreover, are people that were part of the Obama team on the outs with the Biden strategist, or are they working behind the scenes?
A lot of the Biden team members are out in various super PACs, so they can't publicly coordinate, or they can't coordinate at all, and they can't publicly communicate with or privately communicate with the Biden campaign. So a lot of those guys are out in the super PAC space. Some of them are in the media space. Some of them are in fundraising. So there are a lot of Obama folks hoping to pull the wagon for Joe Biden, but he's got his own org, he's got his own campaign, which is fine. It's how people should do. And I will say this: you saw a preview of Barack Obama at the DNC with a righteous and controlled anger about what Donald Trump has done to this country. And I think he made a very strong case. He's a very compelling political figure still in the nation. And in fact, his approval ratings have risen dramatically, even with Republicans, since he left office. So I think you'll be seeing him a lot again on the campaign trail coming forward.
Among your circle of friends, I heard a lot of people say 4 years ago, I just can't support Trump. But they never said that they were going to go as far as supporting Hillary. Do you think this time around, not only are there more people who are willing to go that extra yard and actually vote for a Democrat for the first time in a long time, if not ever, but those folks, when they pull the curtain closed, they'll swallow hard and still support him because they like some of the things Trump has done? Or do you think they're more likely to maybe tell their neighbors they did vote for Trump but actually vote for Biden?
I think there are a lot of shy Biden voters out there, because our politics in this country has become very normative when it comes to your social group. And so people say, all my friends on Facebook, if they know I voted for Biden, they're going to yell at me. So those shy Biden voters, I think, are definitely out there in the water. And I think it's important that groups like mine and the Lincoln Project that we've put together give them an off-ramp, give them something where they can go and feel comfortable voting for a guy who they don't have to agree with all his policies, but they do know that Joe Biden is two things. One, he's a decent human being. He's not Donald Trump in terms of his personal character. The second thing they know is that for all the ideological scare talk from Trump, Joe Biden's number one problem for the first year or two or three, maybe even 4, is going to be to undo the damage Donald Trump did because of his mishandling of COVID and the economy.
Finally, Rick, if you're a sitting Republican senator who's got a tough re-election, I'm thinking Cory Gardner or Susan Collins or whatever else, do you see a possibility that, 3-4 weeks from the election, if they're looking and they're down 6-10 points more, they're going to say, if I'm going to lose, I'm not going to lose, by going along to get along with this guy. I might as well take a shot and distance myself from the president. Do you see any Republicans breaking ranks if the numbers look bad in the closing weeks?
Well, it's too late for them to do that now. They should have done this a long time ago. They should have done this in the beginning, not in the end. And because of that, they're going to, if they do cut away from Trump now, it's not going to be enough to change the ball game.
Well, we're getting down to crunch time. Rick, I appreciate you always making time for us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Loved it. Love to see you. Thanks so much for having me.
You got it. All right, everybody, when we come back, what we're going to do is reset the presidential race. The conventions, they're done, obviously, but did Trump or Biden actually get a bump? Well, we're going to take a look at that, new numbers also, and we'll compare where we are with today's numbers to where Hillary Clinton was 4 years ago at this exact same moment in the campaign. All that and more after this break.